In 2008, somebody released the source code for a remote control virus. 17 years later, security teams were still finding its descendants, hiding inside fake Chrome and Teams installers.
Today, we're unraveling a massive, completely fascinating cybersecurity mystery. We're looking at a threat that simply refuses to die. You know, in the tech world, we're so used to talking about brand new vulnerabilities and next-generation attacks. But what happens when dangerous code is released into the wild and just stays there? Well, today we're going to look at a piece of malware that has outlived its original creators, outlived the operating systems it was built for, and continues to haunt networks nearly 2 decades later. Okay, let's dive into this because this is where it gets terrifyingly relevant to your everyday life. Picture a totally normal afternoon. You're setting up a new computer, or maybe you just need to jump on a quick meeting. You search for a popular browser like Google Chrome or a messaging app like Microsoft Teams. The search results look totally normal, right? The web page looks perfectly familiar. You hit download, the installer opens, and the software might even work exactly as you expect it to. But right underneath that totally ordinary process, you might just be welcoming in a 17-year-old ghost. Section 1. The modern software trap. So what is this core threat? It's called Ghost RAT. Now, the RAT stands for Remote Access Trojan. This isn't a script from some Hollywood horror movie, although it certainly acts like one. It's a very real, incredibly potent tool designed to secretly operate a victim's computer from somewhere else. The trouble all stems from a major mistake. Its source code was leaked way back in 2008. And that single event spawned a massive 17-year lineage of descendants. Section 2, the 2008 source code leak. To really wrap our heads around this, look at this timeline. The sheer terrifying lifespan of this malware family is hard to overstate. Back in 2008, the source code leaks online. Almost immediately by 2009 and into the next decade, it becomes heavily associated with serious espionage investigations. Jump to 2017, and the renowned MITRE ATT&CK framework officially creates an entry for it. And then, fast forward to 2025 and 2026, we see these mass impersonation campaigns, from a public leak to modern massive outbreaks spanning 17 years. Let's punch through this horrifying dossier of system compromises. If this actually gets on your machine, what can it do? Well, according to MITRE's official catalog, which, by the way, was updated as recently as May 2026, the capabilities are vast. We're talking keylogging every single password you type, capturing your screen, opening a remote shell to run commands, injecting malicious processes, wiping event logs to hide its tracks, and using encrypted command and control traffic. It is literally a total system takeover, sitting quietly while somebody you can't see operates your machine. Section 3. An arsenal for everyone. Here is the crucial turning point. Once that source code was out in 2008, Ghost RAT stopped being a single, killable program. Anyone could study those parts, modify them, and use them. It became a box of parts. Notorious threat groups currently documented by MITRE, like APT41, Kimsuki, Leviathan, APT18, APT5, and Hygasa, they all adopted it. This proves we aren't dealing with one immortal hacker sitting at a keyboard for 17 years. These are completely different operators, aiming at different targets across different years. They're just using the same ghost and dressing it in changing clothes. Section 4. The 2025 Campaign Evolution. So how exactly does code from 2008 bypass today's machine learning antivirus and cloud security? The answer is scale and disguise. In 2025, researchers at Palo Alto Network's Unit 42 uncovered something truly massive. Over 2,000 impersonation domains were used in just the first wave of a campaign meant to distribute ghost variants. That is a staggering footprint. And they absolutely didn't stop there. The later wave escalated dramatically. Attackers were impersonating over 40 different applications. We are talking about enterprise tools, secure messaging software, video games, and even super popular AI products. They weren't just targeting one tiny niche, they cast a massive, sweeping net. And this brilliantly illustrates the complex mechanics of DLL sideloading. Imagine a legitimate digitally signed software. The user completely trusts it, and so does the computer's security system. It is the genuine lock. But right beside it, the attackers sneak in a malicious DLL component. The real program inadvertently helps load the malware. So the lock is genuine, but the door frame has been entirely replaced. By November 2025, Elastic Security Labs documented a highly sophisticated version of this. They found a threat called Roning Loader hiding behind those fake Google Chrome and Microsoft Teams installers we talked about right at the beginning. Linked to the Dragon Breath threat group, this campaign used signed drivers, thread pull injection, and protected process abuse, just to interfere with Microsoft Defender and other security tools. They basically took a very old remote access tool and gave it a highly modernized, extremely aggressive escort. This persistence led to a pretty ironic milestone. In the third quarter of 2025, the Center for Internet Security reported that Ghost was actually returning to its top 10 malware observations. And I just have to point out, returning is such a fascinating word here. It kind of implies the Ghost had ever actually left, when in reality, it was just waiting in the wings the whole time. The evolution gets even weirder too. By April 2026, Splunk Threat Research analyzed a completely bizarre campaign payload. On one hand, you have a Ghost Rat variant designed for long-term espionage and persistent remote control. But it was inexplicably bundled with adware meant for quick, immediate click monetization. They combined high-level espionage with irritating, cheap pop-up ads, packaging the whole shebang together like a cursed software promotion. Section 5, Survival in Plain Sight. If we step back and put all these facts together, we really have to confront the core contradiction of this entire explainer. The original code was public, defenders documented its behavior, antivirus products learned its signatures, and yet it survived while everybody was looking at it. How? Well, because attackers simply kept changing the outer shell. They changed the loader, the packaging, the encryption, sometimes even the name, all the parts defenders could easily recognize, while keeping the core brilliant idea alive underneath. So the crucial point is this. When we say Ghost Rat survived, we don't mean a single unchanged binary has been running untouched for 17 years. It isn't one immortal hacking group pulling the strings. Once that source code escaped, the malware became less like a single criminal and more like a shared language that criminals across the globe learned to speak. You can seize a server, or block a hash, or arrest an operator, but absolutely none of those actions erases the leaked knowledge. Section 6, Escaping the Haunting. Okay, let's transition from the abstract world of leaked source code back down to your actual desktop, because that's where the real battleground lies. Most of us will never reverse engineer a DLL file. The battle is won or lost the moment a search result or download page asks for your trust. So here are the unglamorous but absolutely vital steps. First, download only from verified vendor domains or trusted app stores. Second, if an installer's signature or file path looks weird, stop. Third, keep your endpoint protection updated constantly. And fourth, treat search engine ads and copycat download pages as hostile until proven otherwise. Attackers don't always need to break through your firewall. They just need you to invite the old ghost inside wearing a familiar face. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this thought. The longevity of Ghost RAT isn't a story about brilliant malware. It's a story about the irreversible nature of published code. Software companies think in versions, but attackers think in reusable ideas. 17 years of patches do not make the idea 17 years old. They give it 17 years of descendants. The ghost still haunts. Will you recognize its next disguise? If you found this breakdown valuable and want to follow more buried technical stories all the way to the uncomfortable truth, make sure you subscribe to this explainer series. There are more ghosts in the machine than anyone has time to admit, and we're going to uncover them together. Thanks for learning with me today.